Oh, man, not the way that you want this thing to go as it relates to the playoff game, but I need you guys' overall thoughts and feelings on the 2024-25 season for the Detroit Pistons. Kay Cunningham said that it's a lot of disappointment, and it stings the way that the season ended, but they're not going to sit by and act like they didn't accomplish something this season. After 17 wins and 14 wins, they jumped to 44 wins, and they make the playoffs. It's historic. The first team to go 14 wins to the playoffs. Those are those Detroit Pistons, and they do feel like they left some on the plate, and they're coming back next year to eat. But let me know what your overall thoughts on this season is. The 2024-2025 Pistons, they go down a 4-2 to the New York Knicks in the first round. They win 44 games, and they had a chance to peak at some points in times at the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. So, hey, that's a wrap from here, LCA. Kool-Aid, Woodward Sports. Detroit turned up tonight, man. Let's go.
Trust your next vehicle purchase to Les Stanford. 50-plus years of success. LesStanford.com.
What up, though, people?
Stick starting this shit off.
Woodward.
Stick starting this off the right way, man. God
and
damn.
it's not a victory show. Obviously, everybody in Detroit already knows. Detroit Pistons fall in Game 6. They fall 4-2 to those New York Knicks, 116 to 113. They had such a good chance to force this to a Game 7. We're going to talk a lot about this game today.
Yeah.
We got to talk about TJ Lang's comments as well.
Right.
Yeah,
TJ Lang?
We have to.
TJ Lang shirt up?
Hey, you know what? Neil and I think there might have been a couple others from the network who were, we were going to bat for Kay Cunningham.
Wow.
We will share the statements later, man.
Wow.
Because I believe this, because during the course of the argument, it kind of shifted a little bit from his original, but I still want to be able to talk about what the original statement was. It's pretty. I see your face.
I can see this is going to be the next annoying topic in Detroit sports.
Listen, I'm telling you, second or third segment, stay tapped in, because you guys already know first segment. We got to break down the game. Got a lot of sights and sounds. We got the post-game sounds as well from JB Bickerstaff, Kay Cunningham, and Malik Beasley. There's a lot to like there, man, even though it still stings right now to have seen them not just lose, but give the game away. But it's Wake Up Woodward Chat family. As always, you all are the most important part of the Woo Crew production. Let's run up those lights for Detroit sports, man. Let's run up those lights, chat family. And it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. We got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick up here on the desk, filling in for our guy, our brother, Flannel Sam Reynolds, who is on vacation. Brother, we love you, man. I'm hoping that this vacation makes the pain of this defeat a little bit better for you, man. We can't wait to get you back in studio. But, hey, Woodward Sports, Rookie of the Year, MVP. What up, though, brother?
Long night. Man. And shout out to Stick, looking out on the Buddy's Pizza. That was absolutely delicious. But me, Anson, Pistol Pete, shout out Pete, let Pete cook all the time. And T-Foss actually stopped in for a little bit toward the end of the game. But no, we had an amazing watch party last night. Appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. It was a lot of fun. And you just hate how it ended. Yes, I'm still a little bit hurt from last night. Yes, I said it was a push off New York fans. I don't give a damn. I was being emotional. But this Pistons season has been amazing, and I don't think by the end of this episode, I want that to be more of the focus. This Pistons season was amazing. This is more than any of us could have asked for considering the circumstances. And hopefully next year, man, they can take that next step.
Hey, you know what, chat family? I want you all to tell us, what was your instant reaction last night versus what was your slept-on reaction? Because last night there were a lot of people who were hurt, and this morning I'm seeing more people who are like, you know what, maybe I overreacted just a little bit with my comments. Yeah. And so I definitely want to know what you guys are feeling in the moment, because being there in the arena, you could sense, man, bro, that was the most electric environment I've ever been in LCA. And, I'm telling you that when this team really gets going, it is going to be a crowd, and it's going to be an arena that it's going to be a weapon, and it's going to be able to rival some of the better crowds that we've seen in Detroit sports history. And Detroit showed up and they did their thing last night. There's nothing more you could have asked out of Detroit sports fans. And with the players, I do believe this one thing, despite the fact that there are many things more that they could have done better, I do believe that they left it all on the court.
Absolutely.
And that's really, at the end of the day, what you have to ask for. every time you step out there.
No, they didn't get embarrassed. They didn't look overmatched at any point in this series. Really, it was blow for blow. It was really a heavyweight fight. And you got to give the Knicks credit in the regard that they stepped up their physicality when a lot of people thought they didn't have it in them. And they got mad respect from me. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year. You know why? So that was an amazing shot at the end of the game.
Fuck Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. But the Pistons, yes, could they have done things a little bit better? Of course. But overall, like, they laid it all on the floor, and that's all you want from a young team that's in their first playoff series with this young core.
Yeah, definitely. I just want people to get a little sense of the environment, JB. I don't know if you have some of those videos ready, but we were able to run into some of our friends of the network. One, the legend Rod Beard showed up.
Shout out. I saw that picture.
Yeah, man, we got bro,
my boy came from ATL.
I was in media, bro. I was locked in. We were getting some videos cut up. Me and Travis were communicating. I just feel this. I'm like, oh, wait, that's somebody important. And I turned around. I was like, bro, I got to take the hat off and get this picture.
Right.
I just, out of respect, man, shout out to the legend. And he showed up just to be in this environment. And this was the most, he didn't cover it, obviously, but this was the most important and impactful playoff game that he's ever seen from the Detroit Pistons as it relates to him covering them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was epic to have him in the building. He made sure to get around and say what up, though. To a lot of the different media people that he's mentored, a lot of people that, he was once, the senior sports editor and sports editor-in-chief of at the Detroit News. But, JB, we got it's pretty interesting, the beginning of the game versus the end of the game. If you got the Sada Baby one, I got to link up with him pre-game. And
Shout
I
out
asked him, I
Sada.
was like, do you have some time for Woodward Sports? He turned around, he was like, oh, always, bro. Hey,
that's
so
what's
let's hear from him, and then we're going to hear from Chef Geach, who actually helped with the post-game report.
Listen, we about to get this one and we about to get the next one, because everybody who got a brain cell in their head inside the skull part of it, you see what I'm saying? Know that we supposed to be up 3-2.
Get me
You
fired
understand
up,
what I'm saying? This is what's going on. I had words with Cat Daddy last weekend, but we understood it was basketball charter, and we made amends at the end of the game and took a picture. He know what's going on. It's real serious down here. We ain't experienced this fully and rightfully since Chauncey and them. Blake came and gave it to us for 1 year, no harm. Them words is kind of crazy, but you know what I mean. He looked out for us, and if we don't get this tonight, it's nub on the teeth. Hey!
Chef Geach, bro, it didn't go down the way we wanted it to, but you in town. What up, though, man?
What up, though, man? I came all the way out here to see my boys make it to Boston, because that's what I was hoping for. I wasn't even looking at Game 7. That was in the bag, but, man, next year.
Next year, it didn't go the way we wanted it to, but you know what? They put up a hell of a season. The fans, they did applaud at the end, but that 2-minute stretch at the end of the game just didn't go the way that we needed it to, man.
God. My God!
Yo, shout out to all of the Detroit legends were in the building, man. All of the local stars, and the Lions were out there. Galore. It was epic to see, man. J-Mo was in the building. And that content, it absolutely blew up, because it's awesome to see how these teams are supporting each other in the playoffs, man. This is where Detroit sports is. We've arrived here so fast, and I think that that's one of the biggest takeaways from here. Let it sting. Just like when the Tigers. We saw Scooble on the mound in Game 7, right? Scooble, the Cy Young Award winner, on the mound. He left it all out there on the mound, but at the end of the day, he didn't get it done. And I think that in large part is the same thing here with Cade Cunningham. But you saw that this team took the necessary steps forward, and it's growth and foundation that you can believe in. Not like the previous 2 or 3 times that the Detroit Pistons went to the playoffs and got swept. But what's going to be hanging over their head all summer, and all of them stated things of this nature that you can hear from the press conference, is the fact that this is going to be something that stings all summer long. And I know that they wanted to get that one, at least a home playoff win for their fans. They wanted to do that. So there was a lot of disappointment involved with that as well. But, I want to be able to get to this audio before we get to the next segment. If we can, we got a couple clips from JB Bickerstaff. We'll start with JB Bickerstaff, because you could tell that man, he cares about this. He cares about this. So we'll go both JB Bickerstaff clips, come back, talk a little bit, and then we got Malik Beasley and Cade Cunningham as well.
And what's been a really competitive series, but what is the overriding emotion in a moment like this?
It's obviously disappointment. We thought we did so many things well and gave ourselves an opportunity. but it's also a lot of pride. I could not be more proud of this group of guys. What they overcame all year long, the way they worked, how resilient they were, how unselfish they were, how willing they were to sacrifice, for the guy next to them. They gave me the ability to coach them with no pushback. They gave me a renewed sense of purpose in this profession. And I can't be more thankful or grateful to have been a part of this group. Nothing the Knicks did came easy. Right? They had to earn it all. And tonight they just made one more play than we did down the stretch. But I could not be more proud of these guys. And I am grateful to be a part of this team, a part of this organization. To watch them revitalize the fan base the way that they did, to go from where we were at the beginning of the year to where we were now, just from a fan standpoint, an engagement standpoint, you can't ask for anything more than that. So again, we're disappointed because we thought we had more to give, but I'm immensely proud of these guys for all the things that they've done. There's no words for the loss. There's one thing bad, the season's coming to an end. But when you just laid it all out on the line, there's nothing but that disappointment in the moment. That's what our guys are feeling right now. Just the lack of an opportunity to come back together again and try to accomplish something, which is what's driven them all year long.
Coach, can you?
Kool-Aid's example of Terrence Cooper was perfect in that.
Man.
Yep. Once again,
He did. But he's also got the experience. We're talking about a little bit of that Terrence Schoolboy and everything.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
like that
gotten a little
comparison.
bit more experience. He did, but he has experience.
You'll be okay, Stick. They'll be back.
No. Hey.
Cade is fine. The team is fine. We'll be okay, goddamn.
Yeah,
we gonna
definitely.
flesh it out.
When you're talking about steps in the right direction, a lot of people would have been happy with play-in. A lot of people would have been happy if they missed the postseason and just won 30 games this year.
You knew what this was going to be.
But we saw this squad turn into a team from dysfunction into functional, and they punched their way up, down a couple players, and they still had an opportunity, which to win this series, to push this thing to the limit, and which prompted. Like, these are the notions and the narratives that I trust in and believe in a little bit more, is when the NBA says after the game, Cade Cunningham is a star.
No, absolutely.
It's when Bleacher Report after the game says Cade Cunningham is a star. It's when Jalen Brunson, who just went toe-to-toe with Cade Cunningham, said, look, that dude, he's not, these guys are not next. They're not
They're
arriving.
here.
They're here.
He said
right
that himself.
now. These are the things that I actually care about, because Brunson is the one who's hobbled. Brunson is the one who knows. Think about how many playoff series he's been in now, because he's got the experience.
Exactly.
Think about that. He understands the fights that it takes. He understands what he's been through. He just went through this with the Pistons and came away with this notion. They are here now. That means that this Detroit Pistons team took a big step forward this season that nobody quite expected. And they could have pushed it further.
Yeah.
This is why I do believe that next year is one of those seasons for the Pistons where you're going to see demon time for a lot of these guys.
Oh, yeah, big facts.
I do believe that now they understand what it takes. There's a whole lot more physicality, and there's a whole lot more stamina that you're going to have to bring to the table. And what wound up happening is that the New York Knicks outlasted the Pistons, something I did not believe was going to happen. I thought that the Pistons were going to have the kind of the youthful exuberance on their side, but the experience, the know-how, the understanding that, oh yeah, we already know what our legs are going to feel like in the fourth quarter. They don't. We already understand how the refs are going to swallow their whistle. They don't. And Cade talked about some of those components that they had to, on the fly, try to get adjusted to, and they almost pushed this thing to the limit. And those are the components that I'm looking at. If you're going to go down, you have to at least go down swinging. And we've seen J.B. Bickerstaff say that his standard all year long, even though the goal is to win, if you're playing to the standard, that does check a box for me. And that's what one of my biggest takeaways is from this series, is that they did more than take a leap forward. A step forward would have been 30 wins. A step forward would have been postseason. This team stepped up on the big stage and proved that they're a big player. Their floor to me next year is the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference.
No, absolutely. I think it's higher.
I do. No,
I think it's higher.
You think their floor is higher?
I think they're.
Hey, talk to me.
No, I think the floor should at least be 4 seed in the NBA, and ceiling should be competing for one of those top 3 spots. They can easily do that. They are right there. They have a young core that they have kind of established as going to be the future of the team. You just have to put the right veteran leadership around them, which they have done to a degree, and you have to go get another scorer for this team that can relieve some pressure off of Cade Cunningham, because that is one of the biggest factors in this series. When you look at it in totality, there was no secondary scorer that you could really rely on in this series. And you know, not to say that we didn't have people that played well, but overall, Cade averaged 25 points in this playoff series. The next closest person was Tobias Harris at 16. You need something else.
Let's talk.
Hold on. I don't want to interrupt.
It's not the whole reason.
I don't want to interrupt.
You ain't got to pick it apart.
I got one thing to say, KG. Will you calm down?
All right.
Kool-Aid did an incredible job all season long covering the Pistons. Let's give it up to Kool-Aid, my man.
Hell yeah.
His ass off.
Let's go. Come on.
And we got to at least take a pause to show this man the respect that he deserves. Kool-Aid, we busted your ass this season. I don't think people know what you do behind the scenes here at Woodward Sports too, with our social team and keeping all those yahoos in line. But for you to be able to multitask, cover the Pistons the way you did, get in the crowd, talk to the players, share the whole experience, it can't be said enough what you did, not only for Woodward Sports, but for the Pistons. For the Pistons this year. We know 4 years ago these dudes, nobody was talking about them, but you know who was? Kool-Aid.
Damn right.
Kool-Aid's been talking about him for 4 years.
That's why he deserves
Even when
it
we
all.
tell him, hey, man, Pistons suck this year. They've lost 20 in a row. Stop talking about them. No, I'm never going to stop talking. So, Kool-Aid, no matter how we disagree about what's on the court, off the court, dude, you are a fucking championship.
Amazing.
You are a superstar. And I don't care. I'll debate that with anybody any day. So thank you, Kool-Aid, for doing what you do for the Pistons.
Thank you, Kool-Aid. Thank you, Kool-Aid.
Thank you, Kool-Aid.
Oh, we gotta get to a break, Jay. You done made my man's emotional over here. Real talk. It's what Woodward Sports is. You remember when we first sat down in this building? I was closer to 300 pounds.
Yep.
And this has been a life changer, a lifesaver, and something for that me and my family have absolutely rallied around.
Yeah. And
knowing how much Detroit sports means to me, because I was Detroit cooling this thing for about 10 years, and when Woodward Sports it came calling, and Stick and Joey and others shared their vision, it was just like, yeah, I'm along for this ride through thick and thin in the sport that they've given in this journey. And the ability to do this, that's what's continued to push, as well as the support from the chat family, man. Like,
man.
Sheesh, yo, I wasn't prepared for that, but I appreciate you guys, man.
I told JV, I'm like,
do
I'm about to
this
fuck him
without
up.
you all.
I'm about to fuck him up. They're gonna think I'm talking about Kate.
It's about the team. It's about the team. I'm so serious. Like, I'm grateful for you guys. This is one of the best teams, if not the best team I've ever been on. And you know what? I got tapes to prove it this time.
Oh.
We got tapes. We on wax, man.